How to communicate effectively in your relationship as a woman. When it comes to relationships, communication is key. Women often find themselves in position of needing to express their feelings and thoughts more clearly in order to get their point across. Unfortunately, that isn't always easy. Effective communication in relationships can be hard for women. That's why it's important to learn the tips and tricks that can help you communicate more effectively in your relationship. In this video, we will look at some of the best ways for women to communicate effectively in their relationships. Welcome to another Tip Daily video. Make I statements. One of the best ways to effectively communicate in your relationship as a woman is to make I statements. I statements are phrases that begin with I and express a feeling or opinion. Examples of I statements include, I feel frustrated when you don't take out the trash on time, or I think we need to talk about how to divide the household chores. When making I statements, it's important to avoid words like you and always, since this can lead to an argument rather than a constructive discussion. Instead, focus on your feelings and how they relate to the situation at hand. Doing so will help you stay focused on expressing yourself, rather than blaming your partner or attacking them. By making I statements, you can express yourself in a way that is respectful and effective. This will allow you and your partners to have a more productive discussion, which can result in a better understanding between both of you. It is also important to listen to what your partner has to say. For communication to be successful, each person must be heard and their feelings respected. Taking the time to really listen to what your partner has to say without interruption or judgment will go a long way towards creating a positive environment for communication. When communicating, use specific examples instead of generalizations so that your points are easier to understand. Also, try not to get emotional during conversations because this can cause misunderstandings. Remain calm and offer solutions rather than just complaints or criticism. This will show your partner that you value their opinion and encourage them to open up to you. Finally, keep an open mind and don't be afraid to admit if you're wrong. Being able to apologize for mistakes shows respect and builds trust in any relationships. Use you statements sparingly. When communicating in your relationship, you should use you statements sparingly. You statements can be helpful for clarifying a particular behavior or an attitude that is causing a problem in the relationship. However, they can quickly become accusatory or critical when used too much. For an example, you are always so forgetful. Instead of, I get frustrated when you don't remember to do things. Using you statements can make the other person feel attacked and put them on defense. This can lead to arguments and hurt feelings, which is not productive when trying to communicate effectively. To avoid this, try to focus on expressing your feelings and needs rather than attacking the other person. Instead of saying you're always so forgetful, say I get frustrated when I have to remind you to do something. It makes me feel like you don't care about my needs. This allows you to express your own feelings without making the other person feel attacked or criticized. It is also important to remember that there is usually a reason behind the behavior that is being addressed. Try to understand why the other person is behaving in a certain way and address it in a non-confrontational manner. Rather than saying you never listen to me, say, I feel like I'm not being heard when I speak. Can you help me understand why? This approach can be more effective in helping you both reach an understanding. Overall, it is important to remember to use you statements sparingly when communicating in your relationship. This can help create a more positive environment and encourage constructive dialogue. By focusing on expressing your own feelings and needs and understanding the other person's perspective, you can better communicate and resolve issues in your relationship. Avoid blaming language. It can be difficult to avoid blaming language when communicating in a relationship. When things go wrong, it can be easy to feel like the other person is at fault and start pointing fingers. However, this can be very damaging to your relationship. To communicate effectively, it is important to use language that is non-blaming and that avoids placing the blame on the other person. Instead of saying you never do anything right, try saying I feel frustrated when we don't reach an agreement. This conveys your feelings without attacking the other person. Another way to avoid blaming language is to use I statements. This is a great tool for expressing your thoughts and feelings without attacking or accusing the other person. Instead of saying you make me angry, try saying that I feel angry when I hear that. This allows you to express your feelings without assigning blame. Finally, it is important to be aware of your words you are using in your communication. Avoid using accusatory language or speaking in a judgmental tone. Focus on respectfully expressing yourself and trying to find a solution that works for the both of you. By avoiding blaming language, you can communicate more effectively in your relationship and create a stronger bond with your partner. Be direct. It can be hard to say what you really feel when you're talking to your partner, especially when it's something negative. However, being direct and honest about your feelings is one of the most important steps to effective communications in a relationship. It's important to avoid making vague statements or hinting at how you feel. Instead, be direct and speak your truth. Explain exactly what is bothering you and how it's making you feel. Avoiding being direct will only cause misunderstandings and make it more difficult to resolve an issue. Be sure to explain why you feel a certain way and how your partner can help. Remember to keep your tone and words respectful to ensure that your partner listens and understands what you are saying. If needed, take a few deep breaths before speaking to slow yourself down and reduce the chances of escalating any tensions between the two of you. Being able to express yourself without raising your voice or resorting to name-calling or blaming language is key to having a productive conversation. When expressing yourself, focus on I instead of you statements, which can put you and your partner on the defensive. Instead of focusing on how they wronged you, talk about how their actions made you feel. By focusing on I statements, you stay centered on expressing your emotions while allowing your partner to gain insight into your perspective without feeling attacked. When communicating with your partner, it's important to practice active listening skills. Active listening requires that you pay attention to what your partner is saying without interrupting them or arguing with them. This helps create a safe environment for the both of you to share and validate each other's perspective. Use I feel statements. When it comes to communicating effectively in your relationship, using I feel statements are an important way to express your feelings and experiences without attacking your partner. An I feel statement is a powerful tool that puts ownership on the speaker and sets them to explain their emotions respectfully. When making an I feel statement, the speaker should focus on their own experience and avoid blaming the language. For an example, instead of saying that you make me feel angry, try saying that I feel angry when you do this. This helps you to avoid any negative tension in the conversation. It's also important to remember that while I feel statements can be used to express negative emotions, they can also be used to talk about positive feelings. For an example, I feel really happy when you do this can be a great way to show appreciation and support for your partner. Using I feel statements can be an effective way to communicate with your needs, feelings, and expectations in a relationship. By expressing yourself with empathy and understanding, you can ensure that your conversations with your partner are more productive and meaningful. It's also important to remember that communication isn't just about talking. It involves active listening too. Make sure that you take your time to listen carefully to your partner and pay attention to how they feel. You don't have to agree with everything they say, but being present and truly hearing what they have to say will help build trust and respect within the relationship. Furthermore, don't be afraid to ask questions or clarify points if something isn't clear. Asking thoughtful questions will help deepen your understanding of each other, which will lead to better communication between the two of you. Finally, if things start getting heated, taking a break from the conversation until both the parties have had the time to cool down can be a good way. That way, when you come back together, you can start fresh and have a productive discussion without bringing in any residual negativity or anger from before. What do you think about these signs? Do you agree? Is there anything else that you would like us to add? Let us know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends so that we can keep making them. For more videos like this, hit the subscribe button and remember to click on the notification bell. Also, be sure to check out our other videos as well. Thanks for watching.